is definitely dope. So I'm very thankful of that as well too, man. So again, if you guys are new here, make sure you guys are following the club. If you've been here before, make sure you guys are following the club. And we are about to get started. Again, this is Taco Tuesday. So if you guys don't know, mainly what we go ahead and do is we have as far as a guest from the community or other communities as well too, and we get to know a lot of people's journeys. You know what I'm saying? We dibble a lot into stock investing, day trading, from penny stocks to swing trading to day trading to scalps. We've done real estate, we've done taxes, and again, man, just a lot of dope information. But before we get our guests as far as started, how you feeling, Jay? How you feeling, my brother?
Good, brothers. Good. Just chilling.
All right, I hear that. All right, Q. I know you got some energy over there. You ready? Are you ready to introduce our special guest for today, my brother? I don't know if Q.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you already know, man. Definitely gonna be a live day. So I want to take a brief moment just to welcome everybody and introduce the good man himself, Mr. Tony Wilson. And today we're going to be talking about 25 years of experience and learning these markets in trading. All right, so Mr. Tony, if you don't mind, do us a pleasure and just let the people know a little bit about your backstory as far as how you got into trading.
No problem. But first of all, I just want to give you guys fair warning. I had to go pick a buddy up at the airport, so I'm in my car, not in my office, unfortunately. Can you guys hear me okay? Or is there any static?
Oh yeah, we hear you loud and clear.
We hear you perfect.
Sound like you made some money today too.
Yeah, that was the purpose. That was the goal. That was definitely the goal today. So every day when you're trading, you start out your day with your goal, and some days you hit it, some days you don't, but that's just kind of how it goes in this market, man. I appreciate you guys having me in the room tonight, and I'm looking forward to talking to you guys. Hope you guys had a good holiday weekend. Everybody good, full of barbecue and red soda water. You know how your people, you know how you guys do it. You know your people.
He said red soda water, man. Hey, man. That's a lot for the dope, man.
You gotta get that barbecue and red soda water, man.
Oh man. So, Mr. Tony, if you could let us know about how you started your journey into the stock market. What was that moment? What was you doing prior to trading, and how did you get into trading?
Well, out of college, I was working for my dad's insurance agency, and they were just starting to talk about different investments that you can incorporate into insurance. And we went to a meeting, myself and my father, and the guy was talking about how you could not only set people up with their insurance, but you could also put them into these different types of funds. And I thought, okay, that sounds pretty interesting. So right around that same time, a movie came out with Michael Douglas called Wall Street. And I watched that, and I was thinking, oh, that's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. Watching my boy Bud Fox and the whole deal. Like, okay. And believe it or not, maybe 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later, we had a little bit of a market crash, and the stock market, believe it or not, dropped 500 points. And everybody got all in a tizzy. So I looked up that insurance company about the investment opportunity, and they said you're going to need to get a Series 6 in order to sell these mutual funds for a company. So I found out where I could go and take the test and everything. And the gentleman I was talking to, he said, well, what do you want to do? I said, well, I'm interested in doing these mutual funds for this particular insurance company. And he said, well, you know, if you get a Series 7, you can trade stocks too. And I was thinking to myself, well, you know what? I just saw this movie. We just had this thing with the little crash and all that good stuff. I said, you know what? Let me look into that. So I looked into getting a Series 7. So a Series 7 entailed quite a bit more studying than a Series 6. And for a Series 7, you had to be sponsored by a brokerage firm. So just so happens, my father's attorney was with Merrill at the time, so I got them to sponsor me, and I studied like a mother. Oh my God, that was the hardest test I've taken to date. I've taken tests in college that weren't that difficult. I mean, you gotta, obviously you're studying about stocks, but you're studying about options, you're studying about bonds, you're studying about taxes. I mean, it was, the entire gambit, man, crazy. So, I went down, and believe it or not, on the very first time, after finding out, like maybe 2 days before I took the test, that only about 30% of the people who take that test pass the test, which just to frighten me even more, I passed the test. I look like Michael Jordan. Remember when he made that shot against Indiana? He was jumping up in the air and he was swinging his arm around. He was swinging. Because I did not want to take that test again.
That was
I can only imagine.
That test was a booger. It was 2 hours, 2.5 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon. 4.5 hours total for that test. And so anyway, passed the test, went back over to the brokerage firm to see about getting a job with them now that I had passed my test. And they said, cool, we can schedule an interview for you. But in the meanwhile, we're taking a field trip for some of our new guys if you want to come down to the stock exchange. And I was like, oh, yeah, that sounds pretty cool. Yeah, when is it? And they were like, it's, next Monday morning. And you got to be there at 6 in the morning, because it was on the West Coast, the Pacific Stock Exchange. I'm like, okay, cool. So, and this is, I'm telling you the truth. This is the truth. So I got down there, and when I walked in the lobby, there was this fly chick, man. She was beautiful. She was the receptionist, and I was like, at the time, I was like about 28, and I was like,
turned you on. They got you hooked.
Oh, man, this girl is fly. So I walked over to the desk, I'm trying to get some rhythm, So we were talking and everything, and she says, well, look, don't get me in trouble. At least if you're going to stand here, fill out this application, make it look like you're applying for a job. And I was like, all right, cool. So I'm filling the application out, and I'm talking, I'm talking. I'm trying to get, trying to shoot my shot. And so anyway, we did the whole tour around the exchange, and that was cool and everything. So like 2 days later, I get a phone call from this guy. And he goes, hey, this is Larry down at the Pacific Stock Exchange, and saw your resume, man, and wanted to know if you'd be interested in the job down at the Stock Exchange. I was like, yeah, sure, okay, yeah, what's up? Because I hadn't started yet, And I said, I'll come down and interview. So anyway, went down, interviewed. The minute I got down on the floor and I felt that vibe, man, I was like, man, I got to be down here. Now, here was the thing. It was about 800 guys down there, and there was 3 other guys that looked like me. 3. One was a brother who was working at one of the posts, that worked with the specialist. There was another brother who was he was like a floor broker, and he was brokering positions in between the specialist and the outside. There was another brother who was a runner, and I had to start out. Everybody who comes in, well, this is what I was told, start off as a runner. So I got a job as a runner. They hired me as a runner. I was making $900 a month, and my job was every time the specialist would say runner, I'd go over and pick up a ticket, take it to this teletype girl. She would take the information, type it into the system, and it would go across the board. I was like, okay. Didn't take a whole lot of knowledge or a whole lot of intellect, to do this job for sure. But here was the cool thing. You were down really kind of, since I wasn't in New York, I was in Los Angeles. You was as close to Wall Street as you were going to get and still be on the West Coast. And, I was able to, talk to the guys, the most information, and you were getting some really great information in the lunchroom, man. This lady would come in with the basket. She would have a basket full of fruits and sandwiches and all these little snacks she would have that she was selling at ridiculously, like $9 for a sandwich. We're talking about back in 1989, man.
Wait,
$9 for a sandwich.
$9 for back in the days. Wow.
But man, you understand what that profit margin looks like?
Oh, that's
man, she was killing it. She was killing it, but she knew who she was working with because, man, I didn't really grasp the full magnitude of what I was dealing with until I got picked up as a clerk. And once I got picked up as a clerk at one of the posts, I started seeing what the numbers look like. And I remember asking Alan what was they used to have what was called Quotron machines, or they called them the green machines, and they had like 2 lines of data at the very bottom, with the stock price. Really, you had 1 line. If you were like a big time firm, you had 2 lines of data. Okay, and then at the very top in the corner, you would have your P&L up there. So one day, and as a clerk, all you're doing, you're matching up the buy and sell orders, and you're just trying to give the specialist an idea of how many shares you were long or how many shares you were short. Okay, so you had to know some math. Okay, you had to be fast. With no time for calculators, you better figure it out right now. Are we long 5,000 or are we short 2,500? What are we, Tony? Let me know right now. What is it? It was that kind of job. Okay.
Let me ask.
No stress.
Your journey is already sounding amazing already at this. Just from what I'm hearing. So let me ask you a question. So, speaking of how it used to be back in the days, right, to where people had to get the Series 7, had to be under a broker in order to go ahead and do that compared to now. Do you see an advantage of knowing that information as opposed to people who could just honestly create an email password, log in their account, and become as far as a person who can actually stock invest? Do you think that people who started from back in your time has a better knowledge of the stock market, or do you think that times is just evolving to where it really doesn't matter?
No, I mean, you guys today, you got it way better. I mean, I was telling some people in my room earlier, when we would get our charts, they would be mailed to us. They were booklets. We get them every 2 weeks. And we get a ruler out, we would draw lines on it.
Oh.
No, you guys got it going on right now. You guys trading on your phone, man. You guys got it way better.
So y'all was doing ruler with support resistance.
a chance to learn it from some old school guys, and I was just I felt very fortunate that I was with a guy. He was a Jewish guy who he was cool with brothers. He was cool with brothers. He had my boy Marcus on there. Marcus was straight up trained. I came in, I looked over and I saw this tall brother, man. He's about 6'3", man. Had the box haircut, man. He was fly every day. Came in, he was fly. He didn't have a whole lot to say. He was like, "What's up?" Like, "What's up?" We kept it at that level. Now, later on, we hooked up and we boys, and we've been boys forever. We still talk. His kids just graduated from college. My kids, we've been hanging ever since. But at that time, man, we kept it on a very professional level because, again, it was 800 men down there on the floor. Primarily, there were some women down there too. But it was only 4 brothers.
Wow, that's crazy.
And me and him worked at the same post.
hey, it's good to see someone who look like you. So
that's true.
You know what I'm saying? So with that, since you came from, you've been doing this for well over, I know over 25 years. 31 years. Wow. What do you think is the key to sticking through the ups and downs? How does one do what you do for so long and still, every time I talk to you, Mr. Tony, you sound happy. Like, I'm telling you, Mr. Tony, there's some days I'm really cool up here when I'm making money, and there's some days that if I take a loss, I ain't talking to nobody. It ain't nothing happy to talk about. So how do you endure 31 years of, I'm going to assume more ups, but how do you just absorb to being where you at, to where you sound so happy, man?
I'm just at that stage. I talk sometimes about, because I travel a lot, and I talk about flying, and, you're trying to get off that runway, man. You got to build up that speed so that you can eventually get up to 30,000 feet, Right now, I'm just really blessed to be at 30,000 feet. So I can just kind of, I can kind of take it as it comes. I'm not really stressing over a lot. The kids have graduated college. My wife, she's chill. She does what she wants to do. I kind of do what I want to do. And, whether I take an L or if I'm winning, it's I'm just glad. I'm just blessed. And I feel so fortunate to, be in this position that I'm in, that God just blessed me and my family with being able to, do what we kind of want to do, because, I hadn't gotten to the point where when I left and I went through the 10-year drought, through the dark years, when my wife was at the front door talking about, I'm going to live with my mom, taking the kids. We didn't talk about this.
Okay. We definitely going to get there. We're definitely going to get there. So, hey, you can laugh now because you was crying before. Yeah. Baby, please. Please, baby, please. So, all right. So since you've been in it, like you said, 31 years, and then obviously, when anyone is trading, there's going to be ups and downs, right? So, do you look at the stock market, like, obviously, let's just say, like you say, you traded today. Are you setting goals? Because I know every trader is different. There are some traders to where they set either a dollar amount goal, they set a percentage goal. Everyone is different. So, what kind of, whenever you do trade, like you trade today, do you go off of, I'm going to trade this amount of times, or is there a set amount or a set percentage? How do you go about doing it, and explain why you do it that way, if you don't mind?
Well, I believe you got to have goals. I'm an ex-football player and football coach, and baseball player and baseball coach too. But you got to always have a goal. So I have my goal on my whiteboard. I have a whiteboard right behind my desk, and it's written down. I mean, there's no need for it. It's written down because I believe if you don't write things down, then you can change things, and it's not really real. But when you write it down, it becomes real. You know what I mean? So I do have a daily goal, and either I hit that goal or I surpass it or I fall short. But yeah, you're right. I do have a goal. I believe everybody should have one, and you should be striving to meet it or surpass it, because there's going to be days when you take that L, and you want to be able to look back. Say like over the past 30 days, over the last month, you go back to the last 20 trading sessions and say, you know what, I was at 69.8%, or I was at 72.1%, win rate. So I believe that it's important, to keep those numbers. And I was taught that too by this guy, another Jewish guy named SSIG. He taught me that when I was down at the stock exchange working for him. Yeah, that's important, man. Very, very important. Regardless, I know it, but you still got to write it down.
Okay. So what happens on the days that, like, let's just say, I'm just curious of how you look at it. Let's just say on the days my set amount is, and again, people, I'm just throwing a number out there, all right? Let's just say I have a set amount at $300 a day, right? Let's just say $300 a day. And let's just say I reach 250, right? And then as I reach 250, obviously I'm $50 away from my goal, right? But then you take on that next trade, because again, you're going for that goal of 300, and then now that next trade you're down 500. Now, how would you explain to someone to handle that situation? I'm just curious of your thoughts and process for us with that, because some people have to where they'll take a break. You know what I'm saying? And again, I have endured to where now I would take a small break, maybe for about an hour, and I'm going back until my play plays on out. You know what I'm saying? That's something I learned from you about a month and a half ago. Take the trade. And that's something that I have endured, you know what I'm saying, to where I do take a break. Like, I'll be like, okay, you know what, let me just zone out for an hour. And I'm going to get back to it, because I know how I am. I've done the revenge trading. I've spiraled on out. I've been there before. So I just want to get towards your thoughts. And Q and J, my fault. Y'all know I can sit up here and ask Tony Man questions. So make sure y'all ask y'all questions, man.
Yeah, you good.
You good.
Molly.
So you really want to make sure you set your risk parameters, and you know what your risk parameters are, and you know what your losses, what you can, sustain as a loss for that particular session. So if I was up 250, now I'm down 500. If I'm trading a small account, I probably already surpassed my loss for that day. So I'm probably out, because the same way as you're probably thinking, well, I hit my goal, do I stop trading on the upside? Well, I hit my max loss. Do I try to get it back? No, I hit my max loss, I turn the computer off. We're done. So, I come back the next day with a same goal, that I had the day before. It's not, I got to get back the 500 I lost yesterday. I don't trade like that. You can't trade like that. That's, you will not be successful, and you will not maintain longevity thinking that way. It's impossible. So, like I said, every day is a new day of trading. When I talk to you guys about, taking the trade, I say that because, you're here to earn a living. This is your profession. You're here to earn a living, and you've got, I'm assuming you guys have bills to pay. So if you have bills to pay, then you better get to it. And the only way, I was reading that Malcolm Gladwell book, about 10,000 hours, before you master something. And I think it's probably true. Tiger Woods, 10,000 hours playing golf. Who's this? The other Venus and Serena, 10,000 hours playing tennis. Whatever it is you want to master, you're going to do it. And I think you got to spend not 10,000 hours in the sea, but you got to spend 10,000 hours in the trade. When you spend 10,000 hours in the trade, you become a master. And I've been around some masters. I mean, some dudes that are awesome. My guy Alan, who is now retired, lives out in Newport Beach. He invites me to come play golf at his club sometimes. And I just, that 4.5 hours, 5 hours I spend with him just playing golf, I'm still picking his brain about different trades and about different situations. So much that he's telling me that he's going to start charging me a consulting fee every time we play golf. He's like, man, didn't we talk about that last time we played golf? I said, come on, Tony, you figure it out here. Like, I just wanted to double check that with you again, man, because, But, yeah, man, I just think you should approach it. You should approach it that way, and, we don't know. We don't know what the next trade's going to be. We don't know what the next candle's going to be. We don't know. We trade in probabilities, right? We've seen this pattern before. We know how this stock trades, but we don't know. I don't know if Kanye is mad at Kim and needs to sell all his Apple stock today so he can pay for the divorce, and that's why the stock went down. And I'm like, damn. The stock always trades up when that happens. But Kanye calls up and tells his broker, hey, I need to sell everything, man. Just sell everything. I don't care. Sell it all. You don't know. You don't know when that's going to happen, if that's going to happen. All we can do is do our homework, know what we can know about the stocks that we trade. I tell you, I trade the same 10 stocks,
Bank of America.
Intel, Wells Fargo, Citi, Telephone, Micron. I trade the same stocks. And because of that, and some of the things I learned from those guys, because see, down on the floor, at every post, you are assigned certain stocks to trade. And the guy who trades IBM, he don't trade Micron. And the guy that trades Micron, he don't trade Intel. He trades his stocks. And that's how he earns his living. He trades his stocks. He makes a market in those particular stocks. So that's why, it was so ingrained into me, because I would ask, early on I'd ask, well, what about such? He said, we don't trade that. I said, well, yeah, but what about, he said, who cares? We don't trade that.
Had very military style on sticking to the script.
Disciplinary action, right there. You gotta have that disciplinary mindset. If you don't know it, don't touch it.
Yeah, really.
Don't touch
exactly.
That it's like seeing a straight. You don't know that person. Leave them alone.
Yep, big facts. Mr. Tony, do you trade options or are you strictly trading shares?
I just trade shares. I have traded options in my career. I've traded options, and I keep telling some of the guys in my room and gals in my room, I'm going to start trading options because I want to buy a house in Hawaii, and I'm getting old, so I got to hurry up and make this money so I can so I can get the wahoo.
No worries. So I had a question. Okay, so speaking that you trade shares, right? And my mentor also trades shares, as well too. And with me, like, there are differences between the two. There's obvious differences.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I was talking to Jay like earlier this week, or I've spoken to him about this a few times before. But to me, the way I look at things, right? Like when comparing day trading options, day trading for shares, they're both gonna have their big perks. One shares as opposed to trading options? Like for your like what's your reasoning behind why you trade mainly for shares? You know what I'm saying? Because I know my mentor, he doesn't like the fact of the value premium profits fluctuating in and out. There's no true explanation of it, I would say, like to where people could be intact with it. You know what I'm saying? So I just curious of your thoughts as far as to it, because what I plan on doing for myself is obviously I trade options and I trade shares, but I'm getting to a point to where I think with large positions of shares, you can risk less. Obviously, you're not making as much as options in particular situations, but you still can be very profitable. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing about options is when you go more volatile, there is that scare of losing everything. You know what I'm saying? Because you can lose a lot of money trading anything. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to get your thoughts.
I think I feel more comfortable trading stocks because that's basically how I was taught. But and I understand options, right? And if I chose to trade them, if I wanted to trade them, I will, and I maybe I will in the future here. I'm talking about buying this house in Hawaii, but I just feel.
You want to buy that house cash? You want to buy that house?
Yeah, I gotta buy it quick. Yeah, I gotta hurry and get it quick because I want to be able to. I want to go there where I can still. I'm still mobile. My ankles, my knees are still flexible. Yeah. So I still got a golf game. So I can still play golf. I want to make sure I get there pretty soon. So the way I read charts and the way that I understand the movement of stock, I can explain it where it works for stocks and for shares. It works for options. It works if you want to swing trade it. It even works for the way that I read charts and the way that I try to explain them and the candlesticks and the line charts. It will work for any type of trade that you want to perform. Whether you want to do forex, it's the same thing. My son trades a little bit of forex, and he tells me, "Dad, you know how you were telling me about the different charts and stuff? Man, it's the same thing." I said, "I know, son. It's the same. It's the same, man. Once you learn it, you can apply it to anything." I trade shares because I'm accustomed to it. I've been blessed enough to put myself in a position where I can move enough size so that I can do fairly well. I know that I'm trading for consistency. I'm not I don't have to move a ton of size every day to make money. I can move just enough so that I can hit my goal and I can turn my computer off and I can go out to the range and hit some balls. And I'm cool with that. I'm very cool with that. I don't have, I'm not tripping. But you can use the same philosophy for whatever medium you want to go with, whether you want to trade options, futures, or currencies, or share. It's all the same to me. The way I'm reading the charts and what I'm understanding about this, I wouldn't change a thing. It would be the same across the board, and I would be successful in it. And I have no doubt about it.
There you go. That's dope to hear, man. That's dope to hear. At this time, we'll take some questions. If anyone has any questions for Mr. Tony, feel free to raise your hand. Again, welcome towards the Stock Street Towards University. Make sure you guys are showing love to the moderators. Make sure you guys are showing love to Mr. Tony as well, too, taking time out of his day to definitely towards be a guest here. He also does, you can catch him. You have a club, Mr. Tony, or is it called Mr. Tony Wrap Up whenever you open?
It's market wrap. It's pro stock trading.
Okay.
And I don't have any fancy names or anything like that. And by the way, the people in the room named me Mr. Tony. I think because I was the OG in the room. But I didn't name myself. I didn't coin the phrase. They gave me that Mr. Tony title. So I said, all right, well, I guess I'll be Mr. Tony.
We respect Mr. Tony. had any questions? QJ?
So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead. I normally ask this question to everybody because I like to get an understanding of everybody's journeys, right? So I'm going to ask you, right? You've been doing this, you said 31 years. Over the course of your 31 years, right? 2 questions. First question is, what would you say has been the most important thing that you have learned about yourself as a trader?
That I'm true to myself. I keep my promises to myself, and that took time. That took time to evolve. That took time. And also I talk about those early years. That took a lot of time to evolve. When I say I'm going to do so, and that also came because I started having children. I have 2 kids. And if you tell them something, you got to be true. You can't lie to your kids. You can't lie to your wife. You can't lie to yourself. If I say I'm out at $25, then I got to be out at $25. You know what I mean?
Ooh, discipline.
I try,
I like it. I like it.
So that was the hardest thing, but that's what I understood that I had to do and be in order to, maintain any type of level of consistency. That was going to be, and I was told that by 2 of my mentors as well.
Nice. So, my other question is, looking at the difference between when you started in the markets till now, right? How important can you say learning the ability to pivot has been to you, and how long did that take?
That is critical. That is critical. It didn't take long, but what took long was being good at it. Again, the technology that's available to you guys right now is just phenomenal. You guys aren't using rulers and books, drawing lines and stuff like that. You've got so much technology available to you. It's great. But like in the markets that we have, like for instance, for a lot of the people that I hear in the rooms, they sound like they're newer traders. They've just come into the market here in the last couple of years, and the markets have been up. They've just been up, right? Everything's been pretty consistent in terms of moving in a bullish direction. Well, that's cool, but I don't really see it happening like that moving forward. I think we're going to see choppier conditions, and you're going to be compelled to have to learn how to trade in both directions and being nimble and being quick. The people I feel sorry for are the ones who are stuck in 401ks who can't. All they can do is be long. They have to be long position. They can't flip on the drop of a dime and get short, and take advantage of that. And that was designed by the brokerage firms because they don't want you to get out of your positions. They want you to stay in your positions so they can sell their stock to you and get out of their positions.
Mr. Tony, you gonna make some people cry. Make some people cry right now, Miss Tony. You telling them what's real. You gonna make them cry tonight.
I'm not gonna lie. What I tell you about being true, I'm telling you, this is how they do it. This is how the game is played down there. Yeah. And they play for keeps. And I'll tell you what, if you go back and you look at like the 401ks when they came into play, because my grandfather had what was called a pension, and a pension was guaranteed money. And my grandfather, man, he always had paper, man, because his company paid him like 85% of what he was making when he was on the job, and that was guaranteed until he died. Well, and companies gave pensions out, and I think some city jobs do still. Police officers, firemen, they get pensions, right? Okay, but everybody else, they got stuck into these 401ks, and you can see, like I was going to say, these 401ks, that was Wall Street's plan of robbing America. I mean, that was just crazy what happened. You can see a direct correlation when the money came in from the 401ks to the stock market taking off. When I came onto the floor, I think the Dow was at 1,050. I think it was at 1,000. What is that? 36,000 or something? Yeah.
Man, Tony, what?
Man.
Right back then.
It looks like we got a question from True.
You want to go over the rules, Q?
So real quickly, before you do get to the questions, I do want to go over the stage rules. So one, we do ask that you be mindful, have your mic muted until we get to you, so that we're being able to value everyone's time and address everyone's questions. Second rule, we do ask that you refrain from speaking personal monetary numbers, particularly how much you have in the markets, got out of the markets, or even have in the bank. And lastly, we do ask that you refrain from speaking personal resumes, as we do not want anything to be misconstrued or conceived as insider information. And with that being said, Trill, what's going on, man?
What's going on, fellas? What's going on? How's everybody doing?
Good.
Hey, that's good to hear, man. I just want to say, thank you for inviting me up. Having this session tonight. This may be my first a few times, being in you guys' room. I am on Clubhouse. I just seen Mr. Tony. I follow Mr. Tony. I follow you guys. So I couldn't get to you guys earlier. So I got other obligations, of course. But I'm gonna be real brief with it. I just want to say, Mr. Tony is, I've been following him, pretty much since Clubhouse. He like E.F. Hutton. When he talking about, my ears are open.
Man, you dated yourself when you said E.F. Hutton, man. You dated yourself, Trill.
I know you could relate, can relate, but it is what it is. So, I just want to say, thank you for, everything, you guys are doing, educating the community, and just bringing this knowledge, to the forefront. And, we need more rooms like this, and we need more, more time, to have our own personal, think tank. I'm always plugging Mr. Tony Brain every time I get an opportunity. So you maybe need to charge me a consultant fee in a minute. Just go sit. I may just sit because I'm always plugging you. And actually, I'm gonna be real brief. I'm gonna get off the stage. Because I'm a psych major, so we like to we can talk for a long time. So Mr. Tony, I want to say thank you for actually I said I was gonna steal from you shamelessly. You may not have remembered that, but I traded your Starbucks today, and I actually didn't do too bad. I'm just gonna say that. So
there you go.
Good, man. That's good.
We like green.
Yeah, so
Except for Mark, you like red.
That's true too.
I'm just getting my basket together, because I know it's one thing that he really preaches, and I understand that the more and more that I absorb this like a sponge or a fly on the wall, that's a really big key factor, is knowing exactly those 5 or 10 stocks that you know these patterns, how they act, where they would break, resistance, support, so that's what I've pretty much been doing. And then I want to say thank you for that one. And then I got a real question about, mastering your emotions, discipline, and patience, because I know you got, and a lot of us up here are probably still dealing with that, and that's something we deal with on a daily basis. I mean, I'm going into my second time listening to the Train in the Zone Audible book. I'm going back in again, and it's been helping me out a lot. So I want to ask you this though, and anybody else on the panel, Marty, Jay, Wise, Q, how do you guys feel like your personal life interferes with your trading life? Let's say you a gambler, you Kenny Rogers, you like to go, bet it all on black a disciplined person, and don't think that, you know, you're going to be Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Like your personal life, you're going to be undisciplined. All of a sudden, you're going to start trading, and you just all of a sudden disciplined. Or does maybe the trading help you out to become more disciplined in your personal life? Or, you know, does that interfere with your trading? So I would like your perspective on that, because I'm really thinking that I'm probably answering my own question. I would say yes. You know, if you a gambler and you like that craps, you know, rolling the dice all the time, you know, does that overextend, like I said, to your trading life? So this is Trill. I'm out. Once again, I want to say thank you. You know, each one teach one, and just keep on.
We appreciate you, Trill. I'll keep mine short and sweet. I would say things that I've learned. First of all, we're all human, right? So you have to understand that as humans, sometimes we are going to make mistakes, right? And trying my best to be disciplined is one of the things that I always have to remind myself. You know what I'm saying? Because if my mind is not into a trade, more than likely I cannot trade my best. Let's just say that. So I make it a point to where, let's in the morning, if because I run other businesses as well too. If I'm thinking about my other businesses, it's best for me not to trade, because it's going to alter my mind. Even though my intention is to make money, it will alter my mind because I'm not 100% dedicated to what's going on. If I get into an argument with someone, I am not trading, because that energy is going to be raw. So I just make it, for me, I'm making my best to where if my not clear, I don't trade, because I have situations to where I've turned let's just say a green month of all wins to, because my mind was not there. I was angry. Somebody pissed me off. My employees pissed me off. Something like that, and it throws me off, and I can lose it off of one trade. So again, we're all human. I would just say, just always zone out before trading. Have a checklist just to make sure that you're in tune before you trade. But again, you don't want to mix the both. But obviously, I am a gambler. I do like to gamble, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I like to play roulette. You know what I'm saying? I like to bet on, you know, sports games and boxing and stuff like that. So that edge does help me out in trading, because I am more edgier. You know what I'm saying? So I do incorporate the gamble part into my trading, but but it's very calculated. You know what I'm saying? I make sure I go through my checklist, I go through my confirmation, but that edge does give me an advantage because I short stocks all the time. I'm always in the red stock. I know most people are not following my lead. You know what I'm saying? So yes, it does help me out. I hope that answers your question, but I'll let Mr. Tony go ahead and answer as well too.
Well, I'm not a gambler, and I really don't have an addictive personality at all. My father-in-law lived in Vegas, and we'd visit him 3 or 4 times a year. And we'd walk through the casinos, and I wouldn't drop a nickel in a slot machine. He's like, "Man, you're not going to gamble at all? Nothing?" I was like, "No. I gamble every day. I'm in the stock market. I don't need to work with the amateurs. I work with the professionals every day. I don't need to do this. You know, this is insane." My biggest issue that I've struggled with has been food. I'm a foodie, man, and you know that's where I struggle with my discipline. I love great food. And when you reach a certain point in your professional life, when you can start affording to eat better foods in better restaurants and things like that, it's saying no to yourself that we're not going to go and get the triple decker cheesecake, with the caramel drizzle on top of it and the strawberries. So we're not going to do that. We can do it. We can do it every night, but we're not going to do that. That's been my biggest, just trying to maintain. So look, you got an opportunity, man. Why don't you try to stick around and see your grandkids, stay as healthy as you can, you know what I mean? So yeah, true. I mean, I struggle with that. sometimes, man, I break down and I'll just go over there and get me some Ben and Jerry's pistachio, and eat the whole thing. That's mine. But in terms of that carrying over, no, I really don't. I don't really have those types of issues when it comes to trading, because I look at it, it's like my job. It's my job, it's my business. I'm self-employed, obviously, and I know how blessed I am. What I do, I thank the ancestors every day, because they've made that middle passage and came over here for us to be able to do the things and have all the stuff that we have. And I thank my ancestors for that. And I just, every day when I think about want to cry, I think about all the drama they had to go through, all the nonsense they had to deal with. So I take this opportunity seriously. I think it's really great. And I stress that to my kids. I've got them both through college because there was no plan B. I said, no, you're going to finish. You're going to go and you're going to finish. And you owe that to some people, that you have never met, and that, to some ones that are going to be after you, that you owe this to them. So you're going to get it done. So I feel like that, and I don't, but I don't, it doesn't carry over. I don't gamble. I really don't. I don't play blackjack. I don't play cards. Pretty darn boring. Other than, I love to play golf. I love to go to jazz festivals. I love to trade. My wife says, you are boring. I said, that's okay, but the house is paid. You ain't got no bills. You get to do what you want to do. So, but yeah, it doesn't carry over. It doesn't. Just,
And I guess I'll keep it simple. For me, I just think, you have to be mindful of your personal mentality and behaviors, because things you do in personal life can impact the way you operate economically, business-wise, or whatever the case may be. So, being mindful of your personalities, your traits, whether toxic personalities and traits, or even productive personalities and traits, you have to be mindful of those things and learn how to, because they can play a major role in how you respond to investing or trading, or anything else you do in life. So that's my simplistic answer. Jay Wise, you want to touch on that? Oh, my bad, Mr. Tony. Was it something?
I was going to say, Q, you said a very important word there. It's called balance. Aren't we all seeking that in life? Isn't that what we really want? We want balance. You want balance with your wife and your kids. You want balance, on your job. You want balance with your health. We're looking for balance.
Yeah. True statement. Jay, did you want to touch on that question?
Yeah, just lightly. I was just gonna say that it really depends on the individual, their experiences, their upbringings, what kind of discipline they had in their lives prior. So there are people who will compartmentalize their behaviors, right? So they could do very well in one thing and be real disciplined, and in other areas in their lives be real messy. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things could be in disarray. So it does depend on the individual, right? Because you have a lot of different things at play when you're talking about the mentality of someone, right? You have cognitive dissonance and compartmentalization, and how they manage things mentally. So, yeah, that's my take on it.
Definitely. So hopefully, does that answer your question, Trump?
Yes, it does. I appreciate it. Yep. I appreciate everybody's insight, because it is about mastering your emotions, discipline, and having patience. And that's what I've been, getting out of more than this. And that's what I've been. The more and more, I do that, the more successful, my trade actually has become.
Glad to hear it. Appreciate you, my brother.
I appreciate y'all too, man. Just keep doing y'all thing, man. I'm gonna keep more keep y'all more on my forefront. I'm sure I jump in y'all room, man. Like I said, I'm in Clubhouse, man. I see y'all got a good room, good vibe. I like y'all vibe, man. So
appreciate that, my brother.
Appreciate that.
And Thanks, Shannon.
Hi, how are you guys?
Doing good.
Doing great. I got to tell you, I'm so excited every time I come into this room. And Jay Wise, Molly, and Q, you guys always do an awesome job. And I was really excited when I saw Mr. Tony in here. I'm in a volleyball game, so I had to come outside to my car. I did have a question for Mr. Tony because I follow him too. And he had mentioned one time before about journaling, and he had a journal for every day. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Because I just couldn't wrap around everything about it when you were talking about it before.
So I was trying to, figure out early on, and I was, kind of, my mentors were talking to me about, tracking everything that you do. And before we had all these smartphones and all this stuff, you could record all this stuff in. We write everything down. So I would just get these little memo books that you get down at the, I was going to say 5 and dime, Lord have mercy. Anyway, at a dollar store, let's just say you just get little plain white pages inside of it. And just writing down things, writing down your trades, writing down where your stop is, writing down just kind of everything, what you did right that day, what you thought you did wrong. I think I got out too early. I think I added too much. And I would keep it from the day to day, and then I would put my P&Ls in it. And what I would do is I was trying to figure out what were my best trading days. And my best trading days turned out to be Wednesdays. But Wednesday is also my golf day. So I'm like, how could Wednesdays be my best days when I'm out early and I'm playing, I'm gone, I'm only trading for like maybe, 45 minutes to an hour and then I'm gone. How could that be my best day of trading? Figured out I'm focused probably more. I know I only got so much time. I need to do what I need to do because, when I was a kid, I guess I track it back when I was a kid, you couldn't go out and play until you got that work done, right? So, and my dad was a Marine, so that's kind of how we did it. You want to get out and play, you need to get this work done. You need to get that bed made. You need to get that room clean. You need to wash those dishes, So I would just start keeping these, and my mentors told me, keep journal, track how you do each day, So for me, I'm so anal. I just went and bought five memo books, and I just wrote on one Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then I went back through it. I mean, there's definitely better ways to do it for sure, Shannon. I'm just old school. There's definitely better ways of doing it. But I just wanted to know, what I was doing, on what days, because, some people are lucky on Fridays and some people are, unlucky on Tuesdays. I don't know. I just wanted to try to figure out, what were my best days? Why was I having a better day on Wednesday than I was on Tuesday or Thursday? And also I was using it as a tracking mechanism to see, the types of trades that I was involved with as well,
Appreciate that.
I'm good. Yeah. Was I adding more? Was I, scaling into my trades, scaling out of my trades better? So that's what it was about, Shannon. That's what it was about.
I appreciate that. I think journaling is good. I thought you had one for each day and maybe certain stocks you did on certain days. So it really didn't matter about the stocks. You're just tracking your performance.
Exactly. And you know what? I need to get better about that. And I think, Shannon, there are some stationery stores, or you can go on Amazon, I believe, and find some journaling books for stocks. Where you can put in whether you were long or short, or whether you had a put or a call, or whatever it was, and where you can put little and you probably heard me. Maybe I'm trading like maybe an hour and a half, 45 minutes.
There you go. I know. I believe Investment Day has a journal. I believe so. I believe so. I remember she spoke about it before. So if y'all know Investment Day, I believe she has a journal as well too.
Okay. Yeah. It's important. It's definitely important. Do you journal, Shannon?
Yes, I do. I'm kind of new to trading. I was in the class with Marley Q and Jay, and it was really awesome. I learned a lot. So now I'm just really investing in myself. Just following a couple of the moderators. I follow Elena. She puts out a lot of really good information. So before I just throw my money out there and mess it up, I just want to learn, and that's where I'm at right now.
So growing up, who taught you how to trade?
No, I'm just starting to do it now. I always had somebody else to do it for me, and then the person that I actually had, he invested in some stocks for me, which is set for a while, and I mean he's gone now. But I look back at it and I was like, whoa, because it just sat there for a while and it really grew. So I'm like, I need to know what to do with this stuff. Before I mess it up, or I want to learn, and I don't want somebody else to be in control of my money anymore. I want to do it.
Thank you. That's what I was going to ask. You probably feel more empowered now, right?
I do. I really do, and I understand a lot more. And being in these clubhouses have really helped me a lot because I'm in IT. So, I mean, it evolves all the time. So I'm used to things changing and learning. And, I mean, I want to learn something every day. And this is where I want to, I want to do now. I want to know what's going on with my own money and take control of. So if I lose it, I lose it.
Okay. Very cool. Well, I'm excited for you. I think you're probably in the right place. You got these guys. These guys are good. I really do believe that they have your best interest in heart. They want you guys to learn this stuff. I kind of came into Clubhouse because I was just bored. I've been sitting in not a dark room. It's a cool room I got. It's a cool office. But I was just sitting there by myself. I was just bored. I play music all the time. That's why I play music in my room, is because that's all I had. I didn't have really anybody to bounce ideas off other than my mentors. And, I found this Clubhouse and I saw some like-minded people, some melanated people as well. And I was like, okay, all right, cool. Let's see what this is about. So you're in the right place, and just keep learning. Heck, I'm still learning. I told you earlier, I'm still trying to get some information from some of these guys.
Forever a student.
Always.
Forever a student right there.
Be mindful. You got to take into consideration every presidential change. There's going to be an economic shift. Every governor, senators, whatever you. So the economy is going to change consistently, which means the markets are going to change consistently, which means you have to learn consistently how to grow, how to change, how to pivot in order to be successful. Mr. Tony mentioned it earlier, right? You got to learn to get out your own way, right? You got to know how to be able to, play both sides, right? You got to know how to be able to identify that shift when the market makes it, whether you're going to are you going to stay going up in the down market, right? So appreciate that.
And you know what? I remember as far as Shannon, you know what I'm saying? And I think, and Shannon was very attentive as far as as a student. And what it is, I think, some students, what they do is before they go in the market, they still they come through our course and there's a lot of information, right? And then when they hear all the information and they understand it, they still want to observe. And I think that's where she's at. She's still at that observing. Even though she knows the information, she's observing. There's nothing wrong with that. You are going to go ahead and step out once it is that you are ready. You know what I'm saying? Because everyone is different. You know what I'm saying? You have some people who are, hey, I learned it. Let's go. I'm putting my money today. And there's some people who, matter of fact, one of my students, probably taught him in March, I want to say. And, I was expecting to hear an update from him, in March and April. And he took the information and he waited 2 months. And it was good for him because he just was able to break down more information. And right now he's just doing really, really well. You know what I'm saying? So again, everyone has their time. And Shannon, trust me when I tell you, you are ready. And
hey, Marley,
when you're ready to go and step out on faith. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, remember the dude? He's like, y'all want to take the class I want to learn? Y'all about to quit my job tomorrow? It's like, what?
Oh, yeah. Fat people do that. Yeah, we fat people quit their job. Yeah.
Like, I want to quit my job tomorrow. I'm about to quit.
So remember, I never tell nobody to do that. All right? I never tell nobody to quit their job. But some people are very, they appreciate a lot of things that we do teach, and that's their own business. But I always make sure people know that this is a journey. You know what I'm saying? And, Mr. Tony has talked about his W, but he also said that there was a 10-year, what did you call it, Mr. Tony? A 10-year...
The dark years, bro. The dark years, bro.
The dark years, okay? If you could talk about the dark years of how fast that can happen, because I think sometimes people forget, yes, you can make money quickly. You know what I'm saying? You can make money quickly, but you can also lose money quickly, especially when you're trading high volatile stocks like Amazon, who else? What's MicroStrategy, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You can lose quick, people. So, so if you can tell us a little bit about your dark years and what it took for you to get on out and how did it happen? This is what we hear about the good and bad.
So when I left the floor, I got offered a job in Phoenix with Charles Schwab, and Charles Schwab was opening up a new trading facility out there. So I was like, okay, cool, and they were going to pay me my LA wages in Phoenix. So I went out there, shoot, I bought a house. Nice. Great. It was great, and I worked in Schwab 500 department, and I worked with the most active traders because I could handle them. I knew what they were trying to accomplish, and we were getting these trades done. I remember when Troy Aikman got his $17 million check because the guy I was working with, the registered investment advisor, the RIA, was handling Troy Aikman's account when he was with the Cowboys, and we were allocating, the different positions with the money that he just got. So I stayed with them for about 8 years, and then I was trying to trade. And when you work for a brokerage firm, there's a thing called compliance. And before you can place a trade, you got to run it through compliance. Well, after a while, I got tired of trying to run trades through compliance. I'm missing my entries. It became very, very frustrating. I was losing money because I was getting bad fills, a lot of slippage. And, and I got frustrated with that. And then I came home one day and I told my wife, I quit my job and I'm going to become a day trader at home. And she was like, what? I was like, yeah, I'm going to trade from home. I'm not messing around. These people, I'm tired of these people. I'm sick of this. I hate this. I'm making everybody else rich and I'm not making me rich. This is ridiculous. She's like, okay, all right. So, and I had already been losing money in my account, so I think she was a little bit skeptical, so she was like, all right. So she kept her job. She was working at a TV station at the time there in Phoenix, and I started trading, and because of the overhead that I had and the type of lifestyle that the family was accustomed to, I felt a lot of pressure to try to produce results and produce them quickly. I was trading some options at that time too. I was trading shares and options. I had a margined account that was giving me a decent leverage. I think I was getting like 6-1. And, I was really having a hard time maintaining the bills. And I started going into some depressions and really feeling bad about myself and what I put my family into, and tough situation, getting some past due notices sent to the house. My wife had never never seen anything like that, which raised a lot of concern and, conversations. I wasn't communicating with her the way I should have been communicating. And, until I started getting back and talking with my mentors, really Alan, Cy, and Marcus, and talking to those guys and telling them what I was going through. Especially Cy was awesome. Cy, well, big 6'6" Jewish guy who wore Coke bottle glasses, who had sleep apnea. Okay, he'd fall asleep with you talking to him on the phone. He just and he'd wake up in a few minutes. What'd you say, Tony? like I'm sure a lot of our listeners are doing right now. But he talked me through that, man. And he helped me grow up. And I talked to my father. My father was a good businessman, so he had an insurance agency for 41 years, man. And he worked, he came out of that whole same situation, worked for State Farm Insurance, came out, they wouldn't give him an agency, so he opened up his own independent insurance agency. And black man, started his agency in 1980, what did he have? $4,800, and it lasted for 41 years. It's still going today. So, mom is in there running it. But, I had to get through that, and I had to be real with my wife and tell her what the situation was. And, we wound up moving from our house and we moved back to California for a multitude of reasons. One, all of our family was here. My wife was kind of in that entertainment business. My daughter's an actress. By the way, my daughter plays Nadia on Saved by the Bell, the new reboot. She also played Magic in the movie Dreamgirls. If you guys ever heard the movie Dreamgirls with Beyonce and Jamie Foxx and some other stars. Anyway, so we wanted to get back to California, and it was just best. It was a healthier thing for us to come back. And when I got back, I hooked up with these guys, and I mean, I said just talking to them on the phone. I got a chance to, just meet with them one-on-one, and we would break bread. They would, and I would, go through all my drama with them, and they would help me out, and they would explain, was talking about balance, Q, having that balance. And my life was out of balance. My life was totally out of balance, and I had to get it back.
So you was able to formulate a group or a community or support system for yourself. I like that. I like it. Yeah. And then I started, I started getting my act together and started really becoming disciplined about what it is I was trying to accomplish, and then started working. And then, it got better, and I started, investing in myself. I spent a lot. Hey, I've been to some of them $5,000 weekends, working with some big time traders, learning from them, talking with, my mentors over and over again, going over trades, understanding, because you got to remember, we were transitioning out of doing things the old way into this new technology too. This new technology had come along, and trying to figure out, this internet and all this other stuff was happening, and we weren't doing it the old way no more. We're doing it the new way now, and all these discount brokerages, was it Roger Riley had, what was the name of that, oh God, what was the name of that brokerage firm? Something trade, I forget the name was, where you could get $9 commissions. And I was like, oh wow, check out this stuff, because I thought, when we were, at Merrill, a round trip on a $25 stock might cost you $250 commission, Then at Schwab, it was like, $69, $89 for a round trip, right? And then Scott Trade, it was called Scott Trade. Remember Scott Trade? Roger Riley, Scott Trade?
And he was talking about, I would do it for $9. It's like, $9? Wow. You know? So everything was transitioning and everything was changing. So the things that you had to take into account, because commissions were a big, you know, that was a big, you know, a factor in your trading. I mean, it would eat through a lot of your profits. So not only did you have to be profitable, you had to be like really profitable so that you can make money beyond the commissions, you know. So, yeah, I mean, it took a while, but as things got better, you know, then it started to get better, you know. And then I would, you know, like I said, I would look outside, you know, to find more information and try to get better at what it was I was trying to do. Because there wasn't a whole lot of, who could you go to? Hey, man, I'm trying to find, you know, a league of day traders, man. We can all get together and talk. Oh, man, shit. Wow. There ain't none, bro. That don't exist. You know, and you're a brother out here, too. You like a unicorn, man. Shoot. What? You do what? We go to a dinner party, they be like, you do what? Oh, stock trader. Day trade. What's that? You? And be a brother too? It's like, man, come on.
So I got one more quick question, right? So coming through the market, the way that you came into the market, at the time that you came into the market, seeing it today, when people hear you talk about being a trader, the first thing that people tend to run to nowadays is the GMEs and the AMCs, right? Seeing things like, it's like, I don't know why, it's the first thing everybody want to talk about. Oh, did you get it? What? Like, it's been around for a long time, dude. It's not the only thing out there. But nonetheless, right? Seeing things like this happen, what is your outlook on the direction of the industry?
You know, it swings back and forth. You know, kind of, I feel good about it, and I kind of feel bad about it. And then I feel good, and then I feel bad, because there are a lot of new traders coming into this market. There are a lot of people of color that are coming into this market, which is a good thing. It's a great thing. There's been more millionaires made in the stock market than any other industry, including real estate. And I think it's great that we're participating in it. I think it's great that the kids are getting involved with it. You know, when I say kids, I mean, I guess anybody under 40 is a kid to me. I'm excited, and I think you guys are going to take this thing in the right direction. I just want you guys to be mindful that, you know, the people who are on the other side of these trades, who've been there for decades and decades, do not have your best interest at heart. They do not love you. They are not interested in being equals with you. They are not interested in sharing with you. I've been in them conversations. I've been in that back room and heard those conversations. They like living in guarded gate communities away from you. Okay? They enjoy that. They like going places you cannot afford to go. So sharing, they're not interested in doing. And so you guys are now really infringing on their last bastion of freedom. So they may not embrace you the way that you think you should be embraced. So whenever you can get this information, whenever you can learn something about this industry that may be beneficial for you and your family, get it. Get it wherever you get it from. Marty or Q or Jay Wise or me or whoever you get it from. Just get it, compile it, try to use it the best you can. Because look, I'm gonna tell you guys something right now. This money thing that's going on right now, this printing of money, all this money that got printed last year, this was like, to me, this was like a diabolical plan against the working class. All right, they keep printing this money up. They print up damn near $250 billion a month trying to keep this market propped up. But this is only gonna last for so long. And this inflation thing they keep talking about, this temporary inflation, this inflation is real. And it's not so much that the price of your gallon of gas is going up, it's just the value of your dollar is going down. And one of my customers told me, pay my bills, take a vacation, whatever, pay my regulars and stuff. But my money's working, because I invest in banks. I don't put my money in banks. I invest in banks.
That right there, a lot of people don't.
You about to get Q started.
Y'all know how passionate I am about that stuff, man. Like, I think banks take people for granted so much that it's ridiculous. But that's the way the economic system is set up.
Yes.
It's designed to. I mean, once again, right? When you look at the money is designed to make money, and people are designed to spend money. So you got to be mindful of that. So I definitely appreciate that commentary, that perspective on it. I love it. I love it. And Michelle, I see you've been raising your hand. I'm trying to get you up, but I don't know the app is tweaking. But you was about to say, Mr. Tony?
So check this out, Q. So I'm talking to my uncle at the barbecue, talking about inflation. He's asking all these questions. I said, hey, and he's talking about these student loans. His daughter just graduated, from college, Ashley. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you got student loans and this and that and all that. And I was telling him, I said, isn't it interesting that all these corporations who want you to go to college, and you take out these student loans and go in debt, these are the same corporations that can file bankruptcy because they do some stupid stuff, which they do all the time, and have a clean bill of health and a clean slate the very next day, but won't allow their employees, their workers that went to college to get that job at that corporation to file bankruptcy and to wipe that off. They got to keep staying on that treadmill. That's why they want you going back to work. That's why they want to cut off unemployment. They want to keep you out there working. This thing is designed. This thing is designed for you to lose.
And I'm gonna put it in the simplest terms possible, right? And for those of you guys that say, as you know, it's Taco Tuesday, so after the conversation, we're gonna have the game. So I hope you guys have been paying attention to the conversation that's been conducted thus far. But in simple terms, we're gonna just put it this way: over the past 20 years, inflation has been approximately 3.10%. Right? That's the annual average of inflation. Meanwhile, the average interest rate return from a savings account is 0.06%, which means keeping your money in the bank, inflation alone is causing you to lose exponentially every year.
Yep.
Think about that. Just think about that. Right?
And Q, check this out. They have artificially lowered this thing down to zero to force you to spend it. You can't save it. What good would it do to save it?
The crazy part, although it was reduced down to zero, and inflation is supposed to be on hold, ironically speaking, the cost of goods have still raised exponentially over the past year and change. A year and a half, you should say. Right? So inflation is on hold, but cost of goods is still going up. The dollar hasn't changed because inflation is on hold. The cost of goods is still going up. So that's still equivalent to saying the inflation rate is still in place. The housing market, the interest rates are low, but when you look at the housing market, they're charging you $100,000 to $150,000 more than the house is valued at prior to the pandemic. Right?
What is that? It's the same house, right? It's the same house. It's the same house. But now you got $150,000 more for it? Why?
Right. But so we're gonna get ready to wrap this up. So we're gonna have to go ahead and get into this game. So Mr. Tony, we definitely want to express our greatest appreciation for you coming out and sharing your knowledge, sharing your experience and your insight with the people.
Definitely.
Always a great wealth of knowledge. If you guys don't know, you can check Mr. Tony in the market wrap up. Mr. Tony, when do you normally have your rooms? You want to go over your schedule?
I'm off on Wednesday because we're playing golf, but Monday and Tuesday, Thursday and Friday at 2 o'clock Pacific, 5 o'clock Eastern. Eastern. I just have market wrap. I do it 1 hour, and I shut it down at an hour because I learned these rooms can get long. I shut it down in 1 hour so you guys can get on what you're doing. I'm sorry I talked so long tonight.
You good, man. You good. But yeah, so definitely check Mr. Tony out. Market wrap, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Don't try to catch him on Wednesdays. He's on the green. But with that being said, we want to appreciate everybody. Please make sure you guys are showing love to the moderators. Make sure you're showing love to the club. Go ahead and click the green house above Mr. Tony's head and follow the club to be able to get more updates when we do have rooms. Typically, you can catch us at 8:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. Pre-game in the markets. Also, every Tuesday, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're here on Stocko Tuesday. So make sure you guys are tapping in with us. Also, feel free to check out the website, stockstreetuniversity.com, for content and resources and information. Definitely a great community we also have amongst, we have great people in the community, very active. So definitely take a look at that. With that being said, let's get ready to go ahead and get into the Stocko Tuesday game. Hey, Jay.
Thank you, Mr. Tony. I appreciate you for your time, brother. I really,
you guys are more than welcome. You're more than welcome. Hey, I'm going to go grab my boy, man. I'm sure he's probably...
No worries, man.
Pick him up. But, hey, thanks again. I appreciate you. I'll catch you guys next week.
Thank you, Mr. Tony. Make sure y'all show love. Follow Mr. Tony. Have a good one.
All right. Take care, babe. Take care later. Talk to you later.
All right, man. And, Jay, you want to run through the game or want me to run through it?
Yeah, go ahead, Q.
All right, bet. So, all right. So, for those of you guys that's ready to play the game, as you know,
whoever want to come on stage today.
So at this point, we're about to just open up the floor, have our fun conversation while we go through the game. So, with that being said, for those of you guys that want to stream the game, you can go to youtube.com and look up Stock Street University. We're streaming the game live, so you guys can check it out that way. For those that want to play the game, you can either download Kahoots. Matter of fact, just go to kahoot.it. You'll be able to see the game and play the game, or you can go to the website and under our community, you'll be able to go ahead and click play for Stocko Tuesday. So once again, it's kahoots.it. That's KAHOOT.it. All right. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to get ready to roll this thing off.
Yo, Glenn, you're not allowed.
seen that nigga there. No, you know that shit nigga. You don't think that nigga really getting no money, right? I mean, he really fucking old, right? Well, you are watching a master at work. This get better than ever. I'm rocking that powder, I down with the devil. Put this the gang, gon' down with the metal. We pull up a glass and we shoot at whoever. Fuck me a bitch on the front of the metal. When I burn my teeth with the strap on the dress. You take her to eat, but I take her to bless. She get on this D till her problem get settled. Sippin' on lane like it's alcohol. Nigga, this the block, hit 'em, make 'em fall. We choppin' shit up like a saw. Know I keep them cuss up on call. If a nigga down bad, no nigga got no hammer, we gon' let a nigga add to the wall. We be hitting the leaks and all. From the bando to the mall. All street sweet, 3 weeks, 3 deep with them choppers in the fucking backseat. Freaking bitch don't go when she gone off the road. All she wanna do is gon' get geek. Nigga friend like the first day of school in this bitch. Uniform shirt, nigga pant creep. If you hang with the odd, then that's where you just see. Put a hole in this time, now you lost, you get better than ever. I'm rocking that powder, I down with the devil. You this the gang, gon' down with the metal. We pull up a glass and we shoot at whoever. Fuck me a bitch on the burn on the metal. When I burn my teeth, put the strap on the dress. You take her to eat, but I take her to bless. She get on this D till her problem get settled. Sippin' on lane like it's alcohol. Nigga, this the block, hit 'em, make 'em fall. We choppin' shit up like a saw. Know I keep them cuss up on call. If a nigga down bad, no nigga got no hammer, we gon' let a nigga add to the wall. We be hitting the leaks and all. From the bando to the mall. All street sweet, 3 weeks, 3 deep with them choppers in the fucking backseat. Freaking bitch don't go when she gone off the road. All she wanna do is gon' get geek. Nigga friend like the first day of school in this bitch. Uniform shirt, nigga pant creep. If you hang with the op, then that's where you just see. Put a hole in this time, now you lost, you get better than ever. I'm rocking that powder, I down with the devil. Put this the gang, gon' down with the metal. We pull up a glass and we shoot at whoever. Fuck me a bitch on the burn on the metal. When I burn my teeth, put the strap on the dress. You take her to eat, but I take her to bless. She get on this D till her problem get settled. Sippin' on lane like it's alcohol. Nigga, this the block, hit 'em, make 'em fall. We choppin' shit up like a saw. Know I keep them cuss up on call. If a nigga down bad, no nigga got no hammer, we gon' let a nigga add to the wall. We be hitting the leaks and all. From the bando to the mall. All street sweet, 3 weeks, 3 deep with them choppers in the fucking backseat. Freaking bitch don't go when she gone on the road. All she wanna do is gon' get geek. Nigga friend like the first day of school in this bitch. Uniform shirt, nigga pant creep. If you hang with the op, then that's where you just see. Put a hole in this time, now you lost, you get better than ever. I'm rocking that powder, I down with the devil. Put this the gang, gon' down with the metal. We pull up a glass and we shoot at whoever. Fuck me a bitch on the burn on the metal. When I burn my teeth, put the strap on the dress. You take her to eat, but I take her to bless. She get on this D till her problem get settled. Sippin' on lane like it's alcohol. Nigga, this the block, hit 'em, make 'em fall. We choppin' shit up like a saw. Know I keep
This is a Hustlenomics exclusive.
Choose up, Lil John, I'm finna pack him. When it comes to my chick, I'm straight acting. Dirt ball in the cool, smoking crack. Little shit, shut the tell your best friend, shut the Amy. Little shit, shut the tell your best friend, shut the Amy. You know I love it when you dirty. You my orange sort of shit. Chick sit on my, I attack that. Choose up, Lil John, I'm finna pack him. When it comes to my chick, I'm straight active. Dirt ball in the cool, smoking cat. Lil chick, shut the tell your best friend, shut the hey. Lil chick, shut the tell your best friend, hey. Six figs on the whip, that's a price tag. Lil' best friend, she tried to bet me. I'm not underground, hit her with the check though. Get a chick that I can't get. You better die. Young niggas sneaking into the side though. 7-foot hitter with the big drip on me. Pump the bitch. Chicks
schedule busy. My head in a hoodie, my shoes in a hoodie. Cousins are crazy, my cousins like boogie. Life is amazing, it is what it should be. Been here again, but I feel like a rookie. Tell her look up, cause it's no tussies. Booked for 3 years, man, you can't even book me. It's me and Lil Baby, going crazy. Weezy produced it, and Weezy have made me. She held it down, so she got a Mercedes. Yo, me records, the Army, the Navy. He made me 10,000, I threw it, I was ready. Foreign is yellow like Tracy and Katie. Plus in my they never pay me. Man, I need they sweeter than Sadie. When I started out, I did all the favors, they never repay me. Favors, cause nobody saved me. Did all the favors, they never repay me. Did all the favors, cause no. Life is amazing, it is what it should be. Me and Lil Baby, going crazy. Got a Mercedes, can't even book me. Orange, yellow like Tracy and Katie. Life is amazing, it should be. Me and Lil Baby, going crazy. Got a Mercedes, even book me. Yellow like Tracy and Katie. Like
take like 50 flicks. I'm way too selective with the folks that I get mixy with. She said that's a lot when you a thought. Just left out the city, it was high. Think they fucking with me, but they not. I just cannot stop, I'm about to buy my bro a drop. She came to kick it with her friends, they taking shots. I'm a hot shot, hey, met her at the club and I took her to the casa. Get bread non-stop, know my name, ring a bell like Raja. From the city like Rondo Raja, but I'm from the white side like Hassan. Way too fly, but I'm not trying. Had y'all's fun, but it's my time. Chain go bling, I ain't talking about hotline. Young and I got time, but I finally got one, it's about time. Make the whole city shine every time that I shine. Let me know now if you're not down, cause you love, you're not round. Be the true love, in a hot round, go ahead, let that top down. Bitch, I'm from Kentucky, but this ain't no fucking Dixie chicks. This is not Route 66, she step out, take like 50 flicks. I'm way too selective with the folks that I get mixy with. She said that's a lot, boy, you a thought. Just left out the city, it was high. Think they fucking with me, but they not. I just cannot stop, I'm about to buy my bro a drop. She came to kick it with her friends, they taking shots. Yeah, white go to my pro Martin, been sloppy, I ain't got no car, I don't feel nothing for the most part. Fat boy drag this bitch like a go-kart, slap through the op block, shooting out flow darts. I've been before I sang, shirt house 5 word one thing. She don't slurp, get out my rag. Run my shit, you can ask my ops. Love my thoughts, she mouth like mops. Shirt off, chains on the drop. I spent 20 G's for a clock. Put a million GT in my mouth. Won't sell CDs out this house. Still got me in them, it's a drug. Bitch, I'm from Kentucky, but this ain't no fucking Dixie chicks. This is not Route 66. She step out, take like 50 flicks. I'm way too selective with the folks that I get mixy with. She said that's a lot, boy, you a thought. Just left out the city, it was high. Think they fucking with me, but they not. I just cannot stop, I'm about to buy my bro a drop. She
Lost Keys.
life is amazing, it is what it
This is not for 66. She step out, take like 50 flicks. I'm way too selective with the folks that I get mixy with. She said that's a lot where you was thought. Just left out the city, it was high. Think they fucking with me, but they not. I just cannot stop, I'm about to buy my bro a drop. She came to kick it with her friends, they taking shots. That's how I'm a hot shot. Hey, met her at the club and I took her to the casa. Get bread non-stop, know my name, ring a bell like Raja. From the city like Rondo Raja, but I'm from the white side like Hassan. Way too fly, but I'm not trying. Had y'all's fun, but it's my time. Chain go bling, I ain't talking about hotline. Young and I got time, but I finally got one, it's about time. Make the whole city shine every time that I shine. Let me know now if you're not down. Cause you love, you're not wrong. If you love, been a hot round, go ahead, let that top down. Bitch, I'm from Kentucky, but this ain't no fucking Dixie chicks. This is not real 66. She step out, take like 50 flicks. I'm way too selective with the folks that I get mixy with. She said that's a lot, boy, you a thought. Just left out the city, it was high. Think they fucking with me, but they not. I just cannot stop, I'm about to buy my bro a drop. She came to kick it with her friends, they taking shots. Yeah, white gold over my pro Martin, that sloppy, I ain't got no car, I don't feel nothing for the most part. Fat boy drive this bitch like a go-kart, slide through the op block, shooting out flow darts, I filmed before I sang. Trick house 5 word one time, she don't slurp, get out my rag. Run my city, you can ask my ops. Love my style, she mouth like mops. Shirt chains on in the drop. I spent 20 G's for a clock. Put a million GT in my mouth. Won't sell CDs out this house. Still got me in them like what's a drug. Bitch, I'm from Kentucky, but this ain't no fucking Dixie chicks. This is not real 66. She step out, take like 50 flicks. I'm way too selective with the folks that I get mixy with. She said that's a lot, boy, you a thought. Just left out the city, it was high. Think they fucking with me, but they not. I just cannot stop, I'm about to buy my bro a drop. She
Lost keys.
Cause I'm finna hit you. Knock the wind out. Finna hit you. Take your ass out. Finna hit you. Knock the wind out. Finna hit you. Take your ass out. Cause I'm finna hit you. Knock the wind out. Finna hit you. Take your ass out. Cause I'm finna hit you. Finna hit you. Finna hit you. Finna hit you. Knock the wind out. Cause I'm finna hit you. Finna hit you. Finna hit you. Finna hit you. Take your ass out. Cause I'm finna hit you. Knock the wind out. Finna hit you. Take your ass out. Finna hit you. Knock the wind out. Finna hit you. Take your ass out. Chick sit on my, I attack that. Choose up, Lil John, I'm finna pack him. When it comes to my chick, I'm straight active. Dirt ball in the coupe, smoking cat. Lil chick, shut the hell, yo, best friend, shut the, hey, Lil chick, shut the, tell, yo, best friend, hey, Six figs on the whip, that's a price tag. Lil' best friend, chick try to get me. I'm that underground hitter with the check though. Hit a chick that I can't get. You better die. Young hitters, nigga, they doing the shot though. They seen the rain with the shot. 7-foot hitter with the big drip on me. Pump it up, your wish. Chick sit on my, I attack that. Choose up, Lil John, I'm finna pack him. When it comes to my chick, I'm straight active. Dirt ball in the coupe, smoking cat. Lil chick, shut the tell your best friend, shut the hey, lil chick,
baby. Pay me 10,000, I threw it, I was ready. Foreign is yellow like Tracy and Katie. Bustin' my they never pay me. Man, they sweeter than Sadie. When I started out, I knew what they did all the favors, they never repay me. Favors, cause nobody saved me. Did all the favors, they never repay me. Did all the favors, cause nobody. Life is amazing, here's what it should be. Me and little baby, going crazy. Got a Mercedes, can't even book me. Born yellow like Tracy and Katie. Life is amazing, it should be. Me and little baby, going crazy. Got a Mercedes, even book me. Yellow like Tracy and Katie, like Tracy.
Take like 50 flicks. I'm way too selective with the folks that I get mixy with. She said that's a lot when you a thought. Just left out the city, it was high. Think they fucking with me, but they not. I just cannot stop, I'm about to buy my bro a drop. She came to kick it with her friends, they taking shots. I'm a hot shot. Hey, met her at the club and I took her to the casa. Get bread non-stop, know my name, ring a bell like Raja. From the city like Rondo Raja, but I'm from the white side like Hassan. Way too fly, but I'm not trying. Had y'all's fun, but it's my time. Chain go bling, I ain't talking about hotline. Young and I got time, but I finally got one, it's about time. Make the whole city shine every time that I shine. Let me know now if you're not down. Cause you love, you're not wrong. If you love, been a hot round, go ahead, let that top down. Bitch, I'm from Kentucky, but this ain't no fucking Dixie chicks. This is not real 66. She step out, take like 50 flicks. I'm way too selective with the folks that I get mixy with. She said that's a lot, boy, you a thought. Just left out the city, it was high. Think they fucking with me, but they not. I just cannot stop, I'm about to buy my bro a drop. She came to kick it with her friends, they taking shots. Yeah, why go to my pro Martin been sloppy, I ain't got no car, I don't feel nothing for the most part. Fat boy drag this bitch like a go-kart, slap through the op block, shooting out flow darts. I've been rich before I sang, shirt house 5 word one time. She don't slurp, get out my rag. Run my city, you can ask my ops. Love my thoughts from mouth like mops. Shirt up, chains on in the drop. I spent 20 G's for a clock. Put a Millie GT in my mouth. One sell CDs out this house. Still got me in them like it's a drug. Bitch, I'm from Kentucky, but this ain't no fucking Dixie chicks. This is not real 66. She step out, take like 50 flicks. I'm way too selective with the folks that I get mixy with. She said that's a lot, boy, you a thought. Just left out the city, it was high. Think they fucking with me, but they not. I just cannot stop, I'm about to buy my bro a drop. She